Welcome, everyone, to Pizza Roundtable, part of the Pizza Club Network. Every week, we cover the biggest news stories in the pizza world. I'm your host, Will Dumas, and I'm joined by my guest host, Jim Mumford. Jim is both a cookbook author and a writing contributor for the media publication Inside Hook. Jim, what's up? Welcome, man. How you doing?
Hey, good evening, Will. How are you today?
Doing great, my friend. How about you?
Good, doing good. Nice and warm in Michigan this week, so can't beat that.
Ooh, that's probably a change for the better.
Yeah, it's 60 degrees. Golf clubs came out yesterday, so
Wow.
yeah,
Are they
big
like
deal.
yellowed out grass courses at this point in time, or is there any green out there? What does it what does it look
No,
like?
there's no green. It was turf on the range, but still outside, right? Which February Michigan, you're not going to take that for granted.
That's fair. That's fair. Golf is one of those things, man. I just don't get to do a lot. I'm always happy to play, but
Yeah.
just doesn't seem to work out,
Let me guess. That happened when you had the family and children somewhere around there, right?
Generally the case.
Generally, yeah. Same.
All right. Well, listen, let's get into it. There's some interesting articles this week. I wouldn't say there was a plethora of news, but there was some that was hard hitting. All right, we'll put it that way.
Sure.
So the first up, and this is from Nation's Restaurant News. There's a lot of coverage of this particular
A
item, and
lot.
this is going to be a KFC pizza special. I think they're calling it the Chiza, Chizza, as a sandwich. So I'll pull it up here just to get a good picture of it to start with. But essentially, the headline is, like I said, from Nation Restaurant News. KFC is bringing its interpretation of pizza to the U.S. So it's a cheesa. It's not pizza. It's cheesa, and it's not a cheesa. It's
Just
cheesa.
cheese.
It's a
Just
thing.
like Prince, Madonna, cheese.
I was gonna
Right?
give a good comparison that way too. Exactly though. Let's start with what's your experience with KFC, Jim?
I
In
mean,
general for
it.
these things?
I haven't had KFC in probably 20 years. I remember the Double Down, which I think was the same thing, right? It was just like chicken bacon, which it
Chicken,
seems like
bacon,
this.
chicken.
Yeah, it seems like this is the Italian cousin of the Double Down. But it's not my everyday repertoire. What about you? I don't think you're getting the bucket every day either. I'm guessing,
I
just a
am
guess.
not. I am not. I will say there are many a multitude of chicken options down here in Charlotte than there were in New York. KFC was like a staple there, I would say, right? You've got like
Right.
Popeyes, Bojangles down here, right?
Oh,
These are all the variations of it. So it's probably not the first stop. I never got to have the double down either, so I'm
mm,
gonna have to seek this one out. So I will highlight, guys, in general here, from the article. KFC has offered its interpretation of pizza in several global markets for years. Now the company is bringing that creation to the U.S. The Chiza, if I'm saying that right, I hope, will be available nationwide starting February 26th. It features two 100% white meat extra crispy fillets topped with marinara sauce, mozzarella cheese, and pepperoni, sold a la carte or as part of a combo meal. Previously, you could have caught this in the Philippines, Korea, Taiwan, India, Thailand, Germany, Spain, Mexico, as well as various other places. So it's not a brand new item. It looks like it has some
no.
success elsewhere, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you take the Isa out of it, right, and just think of like a chicken, I think it works, right? It's somewhere between chicken parm and the double down, right?
Yeah.
But it's the Isa I think that's sticking with me. I don't know why. It's like you and California pizza. There's a soul to it that's just not right. I don't know. It's probably delicious. We both know it's delicious. We know exactly what that
Yeah.
tastes like, right?
I
I
would
mean,
agree. I would agree.
but it's the Isa that's the sticking with me.
So listen, I am absolutely going to seek this out and try it. I can
Good.
guarantee you that. I will absolutely post it. I will also highlight to for anybody in New York. They highlighted to celebrate the Cheese's debut stateside. KFC will transform its restaurant at 242 East 14th Street in New York to be a pop-up on the February 23rd and 24th. It looks like this will be a free offering ahead for you to pop in and try it out. So pop into the pop-up to try this chicken pizza specialty.
There you go. I think you need to eat one on show next week, Will, if you're really dedicated to the bit.
That's fair. What day will that what day will that be then? So okay, yeah.
All
It'll be out. It'll be out. All right, 29th. Okay, I got it, man. We're in, dude. Let's do it. I'm gonna go for it.
If you
Got
you do it, I gotta do it. Let's do
All
it.
right. Sounds good to me, man. Well, I will follow this one. I'm always a sucker for all the specialties like the Taco Bell Mexican pizza, even though these are not comparable. But like I love all the gimmicky pizza items. Gotta follow them. So stay tuned on this one.
Love it.
All right, we were just talking about a pop-up in New York that they're running. So let's talk about an eater article this week. And this is, always a bold statement with a list, but I must say I do like eaters. This is Eater New York. Their coverage for the most part of food in general. I think they've always got a good approach, and I appreciate the kind of like essential lists or like hot right now heat map type lists that they put out there. They typically highlight a lot of places. So this one is the essential pizzerias of New York City. New York's pizza landscape includes Neapolitan, coal-fired, brick oven, Sicilian, New York style, all around the city. So, I mean, I don't know, Jim. Is there a dispute in your mind? Well, I'm answering that question for you. Is New York still the pizza capital? Of the world. We've been reading different articles, but I'm just going for your opinion as of lately. What do you think,
man? I still think it is, right? I mean, yes, you can listen, good Michigander, right? I love Detroit, I love all other cities, but you're not going to get the variety in literal walking distance and the excellence of anywhere in the world than you are in New York. I mean, you live there, Will. Am I wrong? Am I romanticizing, the pizza in New York at all?
No, it's great, dude. I would absolutely agree with that. that is a true statement. It's worth the hype. But listen, to be fair, you can totally get some really crappy, right? And be like, nope,
absolutely.
But if you're seeking out somebody good and reliable, you're gonna get it. All right, so let's highlight quickly a few of these, and Jim, since you're not the native New Yorker, let's see if any of these stand out to you as well as others. We'll start off in the Bronx. There's a pizzeria there called Louie and Ernie's. I don't know if you ever heard of this guy before.
Nope.
Okay.
New to me.
A solid offering. If we're gonna be up in Harlem, Mama's 2. Small, tiny space, really popular pizza.
Really?
I'll say that. Yep, absolutely. Rose and Joe's Italian Bakery. Now this would be in like Astoria, and now we're talking the like sheet pan style like tomato pies. I want to say you've talked about them before, so like think of it that's like the style kind of for what that's going to be like. Don Antonio, and that's Georgia Caporuscio. Who else we got? John's of Bleecker Street, definitely a popular spot. Una Pizza Napolitana. Finally, we're getting a list back with Anthony Mangiari on it, right? Absolutely, finally. Right. We've got Scars Pizza, which I was talking about last time that I got skunked on when I was in New York trying to get back to the new one that he opened. Right, he shut down his original location. So Scars hit the list. Industry, obviously, I think probably one of the biggest names that are out there. This to me is an absolute must try if you're in New York. Probably same as along with Mama's too. Just share a picture of this one because I do love it so much. This isn't the distinctive burrata slice that they are like quote unquote everyone photographs and are known for, but I mean the pizza itself is just beautiful. Honestly, I could just stare at it.
Yeah, it's beautiful, right? I mean, the crust, the deft hand, right, with the toppings, and it's flawless, right? I mean, this is the benchmark. We all know this, right?
Yes, this it's just, dude, I love it. Quickly go through some of the guys. Lucali, definitely a really well known spot, right? Kind of like I don't know, I was like the pizza badass, right? Like you're rolling those pizzas out with a wine bottle, right? Counterintuitive to like so many pizzas we see today from
Every
like the
pizzeria.
style, right? Yeah.
Don't roll it. Don't, you gotta toss it. You're gonna ruin it. Not true, by the way. Not true.
Yeah. All right. Luigi's Pizza. He's out in Brooklyn. You could catch him on TikTok or Instagram or any other kind of media site. He's an entertaining character, that's for sure. Danino's Pizza. They're on Staten Island. I'm not as familiar with them. They got LMB, Spumoni Gardens, classic spot in general. Get everything there. Lee's Tavern, also on Staten Island, and Totono's, kind of rounding out the whole island there.
The whole area.
Staten Italy. I'm Staten Italy over there. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty good list. I would say the one that strikes it to me, Finney, to me is a pizzeria everyone should seek out. So that one always hurts. I don't know why they're not getting the press. Like they're in Barclays now. They're blowing
right
up.
Yeah.
It's killing me. It's killing me.
And who knows, right? These lists are always perfectly imperfect. But no, I thought for a list like this, it was probably as good as you're going to get, right? Only one or two omissions is probably the ceiling.
Absolutely. And I think it was pretty good. Some of the names that I think we've collectively said may have been like the popular ones at the time have maybe fallen off a bit aren't mentioned. So seems to be a little bit current. But I will say, Finney, get out there, check it out. We were just talking about it the other week, right? He was the one cleaning up the trash on the block, bringing out the trash cans and doing it on his own. Like, it was such a good story.
Deserves his own article. Absolutely.
I dig it. All right. All right. So let's hit something else here. Let's go to an article out by PMQ. So this one's always interesting with these lines that PMQ puts out here. So this top-rated pizza spot says it does not serve pizza at all. So interesting from a starting point, right?
Great headline, by the way. Just flawless there.
You have to click on it to look at it. Then you're like, what? Like, how does that happen? Periods, hard stop, beautiful looking pie. Like, I'm always intrigued. I already like know I don't know about you, but I know the flavor of this when I see this, right? We're talking like pickled pickles, turnips. Like, I know what I'm gonna get for this. I'm totally into it. Like, I love this kind of region from a food perspective in general. Totally down. But in general, at Washington D.C.'s Z&Z's, I think I'm saying it correctly, Manushi bakery, the food might look like a lot like pizza, but the owners say it predates the classic pie by many centuries. I don't know, Jim, what do you think about this style? So this is a Palestinian American family. We're thinking Middle Eastern flatbread, quote, but Middle Eastern flavors on the pizza. Tell me your thoughts on them in general.
I mean, I love it, right? It's, we've talked about this. Every culture has a pizza, right? And this is just their pizza. And it goes on. We'll talk about the lavash, the flatbread, the whole concept. But I'm here for it. The flavors are perfect. It's a perfect delivery vessel, right? I think this is much better than a pita, which could be a little dry, be a little, this is the light, the area, the texture. So I'm in for it hard.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And so particularly to that kind of point of the style of it, right? It is a flatbread. There's no mozzarella. There's no tomato, since those ingredients weren't available in the Middle East when Manush was first emerged. So just for a reference point of a ranking perspective, there was a survey here done by a company On Deck who does surveys, and it's also a ranking of Yelp. So for guys, I know we just talked about this Yelp list, right? But that top 100 pizza list was from the Yelp elites. So On Deck essentially does a very similar survey. I can't comment to all the data points, but the idea being they don't just garner reviews from Yelp elite; they garner from the entire Yelp space.
Everybody.
This spot ranked 4.9, which across like the board. It's amazing, right?
It's unheard of,
seriously,
right?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just so into it. Like, I'm just staring at these pizzas, and I'm just like, oh my god! Like, I'm so down to try these.
Yeah, and kudos to them, because you say, right, you know exactly what each one tastes like, and that's so difficult to do by a picture.
Yep.
So you just know how authentic and how thought out, purposeful each one is.
Some of the things I think that you'll probably find interesting, Jim, in general, they highlighted here in the article. When they start off cooking of it, they bake the bread briefly on a domed shaped griddle oven to create kind of this like perfect crispy yet pillowy texture on it. So right, dome structure, probably slapping those on top and then taking them off. I just love the start of it. I'm just like so cool and unique.
Yeah, and I forget what the name of the bread is, but they're, Middle Eastern breads that start just like that, right? You slap it in the jet engine and you cook it. So it's, again,
Yes.
it very, very similar.
Yeah, I think if you're thinking even something of like, I know we're not necessarily releasing, but like a naan or something
Yeah,
of that sort, right? Where you're going to be like in a kiln like that, like hot real fast like that. Like, I
exactly.
love it. But in general, here the style being like labyrinth yogurt, right? Kind of a really strained but thick yogurt. You're thinking
Real thick.
like super thick. You're thinking thyme, sesame seeds, sumac, olive oil, all of these things. I'm so down. So you're not normally getting this with cheese, as we said, but if they do, there are a couple unique cheeses that they do on top of it. Kind of a salty, briny white cheese based on a Bulgarian cheese that they highlighted here. I'm not even trying to pronounce this one. Well, I guess I will now just to be funny. Akoi. But I don't know. It sounds delicious, dude.
Sounds
I'm
awesome.
totally in. I'm totally in for all of this stuff.
Yeah, and yeah, I like it, right? It's not cheese forward. Again, is it pizza? Maybe not, but is
Fair.
it incredibly delicious? Absolutely, right? I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. And that's one of the things the owners kind of highlight too in the article we get that PMQ covered was, in general, they appreciate the idea of being able to relate it to something, right? So finding a relatable item like pizza, but they do stress, right, that it's manushi, right? It is not pizza. But sometimes it's fun to be at least being able to have people relate to it so you know what you're thinking about getting.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it was a great article. I've going to DC here soon, and that it's definitely on the top of the list.
Nice. Okay. Awesome, man. I love it. All right. We need you to put on your regional pizza hat for a minute. For this one. This one is out of Pizza Today. And so I know this one. I appreciate the article, how it's written. I'm not gonna lie, I struggle with it a little bit. Just when we come back to this
Just a
is
little bit.
so Pizza Today in general, the evolution of traditional American pizza. Um, you know, I'll leave it there, Jim, before I even get into it. In your personal opinion, is there a distinctive American pizza style? Or do you what do you think? Well, leave it there first, and I'll ask
Yeah.
you a follow up.
Is there a traditional American style? I mean, yes and no, right? If I had to pick one, I think it's the Detroit. I think that's the most uniquely American, right? The Sicilian, and you can go to the Taglio, and obviously Neapolitan, and you can trace. But I think the the Detroit and then followed up with the tavern style are definitely the most unique, where you're not going to find a real prominent analog in Italy.
Fair. Okay, I'm with you there. And so to that point, then, when you think, I'm asking you to
Yeah.
live outside of America at the moment, right? But when
Deal.
you think of non-Americans thinking about American style pizza, do you think they're picturing Detroit or are they picturing a big New York style pizza
They're
specifically?
big, the big floppy, right? I mean, the big boardwalk style, or the big, Brooklyn style,
Yep.
right? The fold, that's what they will think of. And they're
Dude,
not totally wrong.
I agreed. Agreed. I think
Yeah.
it's just why that's why the category. I'm like, man, come on, we're so different, right? From like thinking about it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, I'll highlight, I think, from the article, they kind of highlighted a few different ones that I think are relative. And so we had for American pie pizzas in general, there was the New England beach pizza, a Milwaukee pizza, the Quad City pizza,
Hmm.
Detroit pizza that you had talked about before, Colorado pizza, California pizza, Altoona pizza,
Mm.
Ohio Valley pizza,
Yeah.
A Philly tomato pie. So let's get into one of those just for a minute to start with in general.
Sure.
New England beach pizza. Any familiarity with this? And I'll share it up too on
Oh,
screen here.
I like part of this article. Part of this and part of this article made me vibrate. New England beach pizza, to me, I think they're going for like boardwalk style, like I said, right? The New Jersey swirl. But I don't. That's what I would have guessed. But then if you look
Yeah.
at the description, it's in squares, which doesn't resonate with me. Maybe I'm wrong, right? Maybe there's a regional style up there I don't know about. But that one stuck as I'm wondering what they're talking about with that one.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I'm with you with like quote unquote boardwalk style. I don't know if that's as well known, but like I know that and I think of the
Yeah.
same thing that you're going for there. So I wonder if that kind of reaches outwards a little bit further or
Yep.
not. All right, Milwaukee style pizza, cracker thin crust, originated in the Caradaro Club, has evolved into several micro styles depending upon the place you go and get it. One bothers me a little bit, depending upon where you go and get it, to get different styles for it. But okay,
Yeah. So what I've learned is that the tavern style originated at Chicago World's Fair, not in Milwaukee. And by learned, I mean there's very hard research behind that, right? Where their pizzaiolo were trying to make Sicilians, they didn't have the time, so they just flattened it out and went, right, for time's sake. To me, I don't think Milwaukee style pizza is distinct enough from the Chicago Midwest Tavern to be its own thing.
okay,
I've tried many, and they're again not, we talked about last week what makes a regional style. It's not unique enough. So yeah, I vibrated a little bit at this one. That's it. Tavern style pizza is uniquely American, and I will buy that
fair.
totally.
I'm with you on that one. I haven't seen that elsewhere from that perspective, so I think that's a good example for it. I mean, Quad City, we talked about a little bit
Yep.
last week. Detroit, we were just talking about. Colorado, we might have been talking about this on our own afterwards.
This.
Colorado, we're thinking braided crust style, a little bit thicker or honey to it as well.
Totally thick, whole wheat crust. You're gonna add honey and finish with honey. Not 8 inches like they said. Generally, they're big behemoths, but yeah, Colorado style is its own thing and delicious.
So I just want to highlight to everyone, when we look at this one here for California pizza, I want to read the first line. The pizza tends to lack a particular crust, size, style, or even bake. I just am never going to get over it, and I can't stop talking about it. This just bothers me. But fine. I don't even want to get. I don't want to get into it. Tell me. I think we've talked a little bit about a tuna style, but tell me a little bit about Ohio Valley pizza.
Yeah, Ohio Valley pizza is really, really wild. The sauce is a Sunday gravy. It's going to have peppers and onions and garlic. It's par baked, right? It's made from like coal miners, right? So something that they could par bake, make very quickly, and go out. But it's baked and then topped with shredded cheese, cold toppings, and cut into squares. Again, think about like a coal miner wouldn't have time. It's grab and go, something that wouldn't need to be warmed.
Sure.
Ohio Valley pizza is really odd. It's kind of a cross between pizza and a Lunchable. But if you grew up with it, you love it. And there are styles called molten where they will melt the cheese. It's really something. Will it's the difference in flavors and textures and temperatures. That's a style and it's unique. Not for everyone, but you got to experience it once. That's all I'll say.
No, I'm down. I'm down to give it a whirl. I'm just totally not that familiar with it in general. So, all right,
Yeah,
cool. I dig it. All right. Well, I mean, I like the quote unquote references here to some of the unique American style pizzas. The idea of the American traditional American pizza in general is a hard stretch for me, but I land like I described before, right? I land on thinking about a New York-ish style pizza, the classic pizza that you would see, and I'd say, that's an American style pizza. If I had to put a reference point to one,
yeah,
good points that you've got brought up here. Everyone else for him.
Yeah, it was good. Interesting article. 8 out of 10.
Yeah. All right, listen, we got to get you back to work. So I wanted to highlight since you lost the job for Casey's.
Just over that. Thank you.
So this one here out of the Hudson Valley Post. This is an offer to get paid $500 to try some pizza. So time is running out to apply for a job where you simply eat pizza at the best pizzerias in New York State. Spokesperson for Playstar reached out to Hudson Valley Post in hopes we can inform our readers about a dream job. So the dream job is getting paid $500 for 2 pizza testers to simply test out pizza. Sounds like you could get down for this one. No?
Yeah, listen, I do it for half that.
I'd do it for the pizza. I'd do it for
I'd
the
do it.
pizza.
Heck, I'd probably pay to do it. No, I mean, how fun, right? Again, pizza testers sounds like this is kind of like a pseudo journalism kind of job, right? So,
Yeah.
listen, it's not pizza and beer in the Midwest, but it's a nice follow up. And if I live closer, I would be putting my hat in the ring, but that commute might kill me.
You can apply up until 11:59 on February 23rd, and essentially it's going to be one individual from New York, one from Jersey, and you are swapping. So the New York winner will go to Jersey, the Jersey winner will go to New York. You'll both eat three different unannounced, but still great pizza places from both, and you'll be the judge essentially on which one comes out on top.
Yeah.
So I don't know, sounds cool. Why
It's
not?
fun. Yeah, I love it. And I hope we know the winners. That would be a lot of fun to follow their journey.
Dude, I'd be all about it. So I'm loving this pizza things where people are getting paid for it.
I love it.
Jobs that are being created. If everyone follows up on it, I'd love to know. That's the biggest one.
Yep. Casey's to their credit did follow up on it. So
yeah, absolutely. That's why I raised it, right? Like good coming through finally on it.
Finally.
All right, let's talk about one from the Daily Dot, and I think this is a lot of an item that we hear about on both sides of the aisle. I'll say both from an operator and just pizza consumer perspective, and we do end up talking to a lot of pizza operators, and this is definitely an interesting point. Excuse me. So Daily Dot covered this one, and the article title here being, "I noticed you didn't leave a tip. Customer gets shamed by worker for not tipping on a pizza pickup order." So, story goes, this was a Reddit one. My husband placed an order online for a pizza to go. He paid online and did not put anything for the tip. When he went to pick it up, the guy at the counter said, "I noticed you didn't leave a tip. I wanted to let you know you can still leave one." My husband said, "Good to know," and walked out. So I'll throw it to you, Jim, in that, like, what do you think about? I don't want to go down a whole bandwagon of tipping culture because it's a thing and it's getting a lot of attention everywhere, right? I mean, you have the opportunity to tip anyone for anything you want out of your pocket if you felt like it, period, let alone on a screen everywhere you go now, where no matter what there is, there's gonna, I feel like I'm gonna go to the grocery store soon, there's gonna be like a tip screen on it.
There is.
It's like,
if you do grocery pickup, it's an option.
Okay. All right. I mean, someone's loading the bags. I get it. If that's if you felt so, this one, I don't know. Pizza pickup to me is a non-tip item unless someone does something out of their way to do something, or you ask for something extra. Or I don't know if you felt the need to, but I don't think you should be shamed, I would say, for not tipping. What do you think?
No, listen. I'm always for buying the back of the house around, right? And because they're busting it, I'm for all that. But again, to be shamed and pressed for a carry out, someone that clearly right in and out transactional, it seemed very basic. Listen, the option was there. It's presented. That's one thing, but don't press it. I'm sure there's three sides to every story, but yeah, this one that would have rubbed me the wrong way, I think. But you and I are the people where if we like a place, we frequent a place, we're going to take care of them, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We understand what takes care of it, but I'm going to do that. Don't shame me into doing that. And you're right, it's everywhere. Like, I'm surprised, like, say my dentist doesn't have a tip thing, or right. I mean, it is, anyone with an iPad wants 20 extra %, which I get yours, but am I out of bounds here? Is that kind of where you're at?
Dude, we're on the same page. I feel like we've just been hearing this, not even just in the pizza world, right? Everywhere. And I think this is one of the points where it comes down to contention too, is people try to rationalize it and think about it like, is this individual or whomever that is there doing something? I don't want to use the word deserving, but is it anything outside of like what I would traditionally tip them for before, but now I need to do because the screen says it, right? So I you can go on forever, but it's a hot topic, I would say, and particularly on pickup as well, because people are kind of like, oh, what's the difference here? Like, I'm absolute tipper in the restaurant, absolute for delivery.
Absolutely.
A pickup, sometimes I'm like, oh, it's just sitting there, and someone's like, "Here you go," and I'm like, "All right, thanks." I don't know who you are, what you did, what part you played in this. I don't know. I don't see the harm in this one. tell you the
And,
truth, I'm not.
and it goes back to, right, if I'm tipping for pickup, is it going to the back of the house, right? Or is it going to a person who literally took 20 seconds of work? Because if I
Right.
know it's going to everyone busted in the back, maybe, right?
Very good way to highlight that. Yeah.
But to the person who probably did the least in the entire process, harder.
I'm with you. Good point. Good point. All right. This is probably not the last we ever hear of
No.
one of these topics, so I'll say that for sure. All right, let's take a look at this quick article from Lifehacker. I thought this was interesting because I feel like we hear about some of these creative pizzas sometimes that have a barbecue element to them,
Yeah.
whether that's just a sauce or barbecue in general. So I'll start off first, Jim. Your experience barbecue on pizza.
Only
Into it,
only California, just for you, but I've played around with it a lot. It is, and the article nails it, very tricky, right? It's a sugar content. You have to be very purposeful of your temperature. You can't just use a straight dough. You have to be a little purposeful because you will over caramelize it very, very easily. So generally, I'm not a fan of barbecue or anything on pizza unless I'm steering into a style.
okay. Are where do you go for like? Do you think it's different for style of pizza than to do it? Like, could I do a Detroit with barbecue, a New York with barbecue, or Chicago? Is it like dough style that also plays a role in your perception to it?
To me, yes, right. You'd want a dough style that cooks lower, right? So that's why a Sicilian, I think, is kind of the perfect because that's a par baked, a little you par bake with the sauce and kind
Hmm.
of lower and slower. But yeah, I wouldn't put one in uni, right? I wouldn't do a tavern style, which has to be crisp because again, the moisture and the sugar content throws off everything else in the cook. So yeah, I think Sicilian would be the only style I would ever, do a barbecue unless you're practiced, right? Unless you know exactly how you're gonna
Sure.
tinker.
Okay. All right. I like
Yeah.
that. All right. So let's go through some. Let's hit the results quickly here. In general, um, uh, Sweet Baby Ray's was the best overall rated BBQ sauce for it. Are you a fan of like? Do you do barbecue, Jim, in general outside of pizza? And
Yeah.
are you down for a store bought BBQ, or are you always making your
Listen, I'm over 35, so either you get into smoked meats or World War II. I chose the former. No, I do both, but especially like for the kids, right? I have 3 of these bottles in my fridge right now, and Sweet Baby
own?
Ray's is front, right? I mean, it's the Steady Eddie, it's the Mario of barbecue sauces. Not going to offend anybody. It's just right.
I like that. It's a good comparison. I would say that's probably one of the ones that I'll reach to off the shelf, for
Agreed.
sure. Kraft takes the honor of best BBQ sauce with toppings. Um, Interesting category there. Um, Best BBQ sauce for a plain pie is Rib Rack.
Okay.
Um, and this is Bakken's Japanese barbecue sauce, best BBQ sauce for savory flavors. I do have this bottle in
I
my
do.
fridge.
I do too. And if I'm making barbecue chicken, this is the one I'm going to because
S-
again, it's the texture. It's very garlicky,
yes.
it's very savory, and it's not all that sweet. So it doesn't. I'm not going to worry about it burning.
Totally, dude. It's funny because my daughter actually likes this one. She actually likes the whole line because there's a couple of variants to that
Mhm.
as well for a couple of distinctive different Japanese sauces, and she likes them. So I'm like,
It's
all right,
amazing.
works. Yeah,
Go with it.
totally. Who else is there? Okay, so there's so many, but Stubbs, the best tomato forward BBQ sauce. Sticky Fingers, the best sweet BBQ sauce, and A1 sauce, the best BBQ sauce. If you don't
Not
like
BBQ sauce.
sweet, I'm with you on there. The last one here is interesting, only because I used to go there a lot, and I don't distinctly have any remembrance of the barbecue sauce. But Dinosaur barbecue sauce, best BBQ sauce for someone out there. I will say, Dinosaur BBQ was a big thing in New York, up in
Yeah.
Harlem when it first opened, because there was nothing around like it. It was just a big barbecue kind of spot that you had like Danny Meyer doing like Blue Smoke, which was more hoity-toity, find out
Right.
because it kind of barbecue
This is
time.
beef ribs, right?
Yeah. So that was unique. So I don't know, but
Yeah.
hey, listen, if you check out the article, be inspired. At least give one a try. Make a barbecue pizza, right? Yeah,
Try it.
I'll put it there.
It will try. I mean, have you ever made a barbecue pizza, Will? Had any success, failures?
It's just it's just not something I'm normally going towards, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. If I'm gonna make something like smoked, I'm gonna have it in some other way except on my pizza. And if I am, it's like if I wanted chicken, it would probably be like a buffalo chicken. I wouldn't be like a barbecue chicken pie for me. So
Yeah.
sorry CPK if I'm offending you in any way.
I think you've offended California pizza enough. I don't think they're watching anymore at this point. But
That's fair, dude. That's fair. Let's talk about someone who is watching, and that is getting watched everywhere right now, and that is Craig Robinson. This one by BN and Breaking.com. I don't know if you guys haven't seen the show. I would encourage you to check this out. So Craig Robinson, Serenade to Pizza Hut Wings goes viral on TikTok. Say the creator here that posted it, I want to say her name was man, I can't remember. Nora in Hell with 3 L's at the end posted this video caught like 3 million views. But essentially, it's Craig who's doing the hold music when you call Pizza Hut, and it's like a slow jam, and he's got this like deep voice to it that he's like singing about the Pizza Hut wings are like the best thing after the pizza, and it's just hilarious. Like I think he's super funny, and it's just the article here comments a bit about like you just never know what's gonna like go viral, and this is it. Like literally, people are now calling just to the content poster here posted in the article that it's like she called and she's like, "Can you just put me on hold so I can hear the song like again?" Like it's that engaging, so it's funny, man. I don't know. This one was kind of blown up. This was fun.
yeah, it's right. The virality of everything, and yeah, it's not really pizza, but I mean, he's hilarious, right? Off his hot tub time machine, and I have a feeling that this is genuine, right? I don't know Mr. Robinson, but I have just a gut that he, like us, is a fan of pizza and wings, right? Just again,
Go ahead.
Just a gut feeling. So I think that makes it all the more fun, right?
Absolutely. I'd go as far to say that I bet you Craig is probably someone you'd want to have a pizza with. I bet you'd have a damn entertaining time, especially even at a Pizza Hut. I can see it perfect, right? That would be great. I mean, Craig, if you ever want to have pizza with us, please hit us up.
Yeah.
Any Pizza Hut you want.
We'll go to you, bud.
It's on us. Don't worry. All right, cool. So guys, if you didn't get a chance, so check out the video or just call Pizza Hut.
Call your
Call Pizza Hut. Call Pizza
Call
Hut
after
now.
hours, right?
Yeah. Call after hours and just like listen in. I think you'll have a good time. It's not too long of a song.
No.
All right. So this next one, new hardware, and I wasn't familiar with this one at all.
Me neither.
So this one, the article I found the article. Oh, sorry, the article was from Family Handyman. I'm not too familiar with the site, but it's the Halo Pizza Oven, and it made quote restaurant quality pizza at home. So I'll pull up a quick image of it, and I'm not gonna lie, dude, I had no idea.
Never heard of it.
Thing at all. Period.
Yeah.
Hard stop. No
hard
clue.
stop. Never had heard of it. And I think if you and I haven't heard of it, who has, right?
Yeah.
I will preface everything. This article read a little bit like hashtag sponsored, even though I didn't see one. Which I think just kind of keep a grain of salt to everything we're talking about here. But
fair.
Anyways, go ahead.
No, it was good to highlight. I'm with you on that. So I think in general, guys, the unique characteristics to this are that there's a rotating base. There's the pizza stone itself, right, or the pizza cooking surface, however we want to refer to it here, rotates and spins around. So think of it as like a rotating oven hybrid, right, or Gosney kind of hybrid. Give me your initial thoughts before we get into Jim about the rotating concept to it. This is not like a novice idea. There are professional ovens that rotate both ways. Circular, but there's also baking ovens that rotate like your rotisserie, like your rotisserie exactly as well. So the idea is promising in general.
Yeah, culinarily speaking, I think this makes sense, right? If there's a knock against your uni and your uni likes, it's the fact that you gotta be on, you gotta be turning, you gotta have where this is gonna take some out. The engineer in me says, okay, this thing gets 950 degrees and it's rotating. How are you going to keep that greased operating right? Because that at those temperatures are your ceramic bearings, and all of a sudden I have reliability concerns in the back of my head. As someone who deals with things in these temperatures, I know how difficult they are, especially when you have like food grade tied onto it. I'm a little concerned. I'm just
Okay.
saying.
Good point. No, I wouldn't have thought about the heat component wearing down on the actual components, right? Of the like spinning or what bearings associated with that. So good point, man. It weighs about you could fit a 16-inch pizza in it in general.
like.
It weighs about 44 pounds. It has a unique propane connection, I guess. You could put on either a 20-pound tank or a 1-pound tank. So I guess there's some versatility to that. I wasn't too familiar with the connections for like the 1-pounders, but I'm assuming those are like the camping stove
The
style
camping
kind
stove,
of
but
kind of one.
again, that you probably blow through that before you make a pizza. But okay,
It does say it gets hot in, I think, 15 minutes, but I'm with you. It sounds like at that temperature, you're definitely going
you're
to go
blowing
through
through.
that pretty quickly. So
Yeah,
good point on that one. There's dual burners associated with
like
it.
that.
I thought this was an interesting component to it as well. Now, I don't know if this is more from a servicing perspective, or what, but there's a hinged access lid to it. So essentially, the whole top can pop up off of it
Mhm.
so that you can reach in, I guess, and grab your pizza out if you needed to. Or it looks more like there's handles are going to be associated with probably like cleaning it, even though it looks like it's on in this
It looks like
picture
it's very
when
on. Yeah,
someone's doing it, but they're describing how I would use it.
yeah. I like that. Right, unis are kind of, if you make a mess, kind of hard to clean. Right, traditional. So it's someone's thinking. Right, someone's thinking of all the options. But again, if it's removable, how sealed is it? Are you losing heat out the sides? Right. Um, again, I don't know, but these are the things I would check and test for if I had one.
Yeah. So I mean that's kind of the
Yeah.
components to it. I don't know too much past that.
Mhm.
The team here only highlighted that the cons were that it was difficult to carry and not the best for Neapolitan style pizza stoves. For Neapolitan style pizzas, but they did note that it's easy to
It-
control the temperature, is compact, portable, has dual burners, has the hinge. You could do a natural gas conversion kit on it. So
it's
I
just
don't
cool.
know, man. I'm gonna research this a little bit more and see what do we think about
Yeah, same, right? It's not good for Neapolitan, which is kind of odd because that's the style you make in this kind of pizza.
it.
So,
Yeah.
or this kind of pizza oven. So I want to know more. And I want to know more about just the guts of the rotation, right? Because that's what concerns me, is what kind of warranty does it have? What kind of parts? Because if that fails, it's still a good pizza oven, but it's the dual burners and the rotation for me that's like, oh, that's pretty cool. And a
Mhm.
16-inch. So maybe I could do like I could fit a Sicilian in there, a smaller one. I could fit some other, things if it's got the height, which again, as an outdoor oven is really, really attractive outside of pizza.
I
Um,
agree.
and and the price tag, what was it, like 400, 450?
Yeah,
Um,
so it says the Halo Pizza Oven costs around 550 for the base unit, but it is frequently on sale for around 400. You can get it at Amazon. You go on Amazon, Walmart, any kind of major retailer like that, or big box store,
yeah.
like Home Depot or something. We'll have them too. So
I'm intrigued. I want my neighbor to have one so that I can play with it and see if I want one. Which I get. I guess having an article like this is probably the best you're going to get. So kudos.
fair. I like that. Get your neighbor to get one. That's like having a neighbor or like a friend with the boat. You're
Boat.
like, oh man, that's perfect, right? So I'm
Perfect.
so glad
I'll bring the beer every
you
time.
have that. You have that, and I can come on it because I don't need that myself.
No. I'll bring the
um,
pizza oven.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, perfect, right? I could just bring this thing right on there. No worries. All right, I got one more, and I think this one caught a lot of attention. It is a bit local to me, but it's caught that much attention. So this one is out of Axios, and it's Axios Charlotte. So they're actually talking about another publication in it, but Queen City Nerve, and that's a separate publication, trashed Pizza Baby, which is a new offering here in Charlotte, and the Charlotte internet lost its mind. So I would say there are, I think there are thousands of comments on the publication about it, and so in general, it's a kind of not a bad summary actually here by Axios to talk through it. So Timothy D. Poog's Queen City Nerves article titled "Pizza Baby Flops in an Attempt at New York Style Pizza in Charlotte" has reopened a conversation around the state of food coverage in Charlotte altogether. So there are a lot of comments about it. The article, I'm not going to per se give my take on it, but it is not. It is, I wouldn't describe it as a hit piece, but it was tough, right? Some of the notes here that the pizza is woefully underseasoned and tastes like paper mache. It would have been better used as wallpaper paste in the dining room, and that its burrata is gritty and unpleasant to eat. So I will say the reviewer did not hold back, Jim.
No, listen. I'll defer to you. You're in the Charlotte area, but as someone who writes about food, right?
Mhm.
You always have to have the person you're writing about in mind. And if it were me, and I really felt this way, I'd probably contact the owner first. Say, hey, I had a really bad experience. I'm going to give you a mulligan, or here's what I'm going to put, but I want to highlight some good because this is a person's livelihood that you're going after here. They didn't do that, so you said it wasn't a hit piece, but it kind of reads pretty much
Yeah,
like
I'm with you. To be fair, they're recapping some of the points. I think there was I remember reading it, and there was
Yeah, I checked out.
he highlighted one point of it where there was a good pizza that particularly I think it was a kale pizza that's gotten some hype and it was good, but agreed overall it didn't read that well for them. And I think one of the main criticisms here that Axios points out as well is that the major critique was the floppiness because this was a distinctive. I think the point I should underline here: this is they're looking to replicate or being told to replicate New York style pizza. So when it is not delivering from someone that has New York experience, that's a tough one. I feel like to that audience. But did it need to be as strongly worded? And I love your points. I think it's something good to say about it. Like it's tough, man, right? Like to really give your opinion, I don't know if the type of food makes a difference. Like if this was a real if this was a Michelin starred restaurant, Jim, maybe
Yeah.
the critique could be well placed when there's an entire support staff and you really have a horrible time. But if it is something definitely not at that level, not saying pizza can't be, but just in general,
Yeah.
this is not what they're striving for this spot. Maybe a call in to the owner or something could have been helpful to talk through, or highlighting some more good points about it. But I mean, the same counter side to that, if you really do feel that strongly against it and you are a food writer and your other articles are not this way, maybe there's something to be said about it. I don't know. I teeter back and forth on it.
Yeah, and I get that, right? If all your articles and the one, if you really have a bad time, I get it. The thing for me is if food's unsafe or I'm seeing someone not follow like food safety
Fair.
concerns,
Yep.
hammer.
Yep.
That wasn't the case here.
Good point.
But also like I don't know, something about it just was off. Like burrata being gritty was the one that sucked me. That said, I've had
Yeah.
burrata. I don't know that I could make it gritty if I wanted to.
No.
So what does that mean, right? Is
Yeah.
either it's so abhorrently bad or the food writer didn't realize they were having ricotta cheese, right? And
Fair.
again, I don't know the food writer, I don't know anything about it, but that's the part that maybe pause and say, huh, there's something else here because I don't know that's a thing I could do on purpose.
Good point, actually, to that. So yeah, and that's the tough thing about
Yeah.
some of the publications, right? When you don't not no disrespect to any of the food writers in general. It's just like I don't necessarily know your background unless I'm following you. If I hadn't been following the Queen City Nerve, and perhaps now I will actually just to see what some of the other articles look like. So you've drawn me in, but I don't know your culinary background, and I can't say like, do I like your style or do I not? So it's hard for me to just comment outwards. But it felt rough. But I don't know. I'm gonna stay tuned now to see what else they're putting out there. I'll say that to see what I think, and I'm definitely gonna stop in. It's on
That's
a
why I
point.
wanted.
It's on a point of reference for me to stop in anyway already.
Mhm.
It's just recently been opened up, so we haven't gotten there yet for one of these weekends, but we certainly soon will.
Yeah,
But I'll give you my own thoughts.
I would love. Great, this is great, right? It's kind of you. I want to see your thoughts because either
Yeah,
you confirm or you can shed some light. We don't often get this level of closure, so I'm really hyped for you
absolutely,
to
man.
you go there, then you go to the KFC, and then you just got a
Absolutely,
stomach ache for a week. It'll be
absolutely.
great.
Got the crust pizza to come up soon, and the KFC to do for next week, dude. I got a busy eating week.
You got a lot to get. Grab your barbecue sauce and get packing, dude.
Funny enough, actually, so I actually had some extra dough today, and I made a mashed potato style pizza. So I did like a topping of mashed
We
potatoes.
just covered
and,
that.
Roasted garlic. I know I happened to have some in the fridge, and I had some extra dough, and I had roasted some garlic. I was like, we put these together. So not bad, not bad.
There
My
you go.
son liked it. My daughter's, but my son was down. He was down.
What kind of dough? I have to ask. It's in my contract.
Oh, absolutely. So this was be a like I was actually doing like a spincone the other day. So I had some extra, and I actually had done a blend of AP as well as like Caputo Red. Probably like 60-40 more for the AP. Good. I was saying let him rise for 48 hours. Cold, so it was a good one.
How fun.
Yeah, man. All right, Jim. Well, listen, this was a good time. Excited for some follow ups that we have off of this one.
Absolutely.
Where can the pizza world find you across social media?
If you type in Jim Cooks Who Good wherever you consume your content, you will run into me one way or another.
I love it. All right, awesome. Listen, everyone else, thank you so much for tuning in, listening to us tonight. Please check out I Need a Pizza Club on YouTube. Like, subscribe, check us out. There's a lot of content out there that we are building, as well as a couple other shows that we have out there as well. So definitely check it out. We'd love to see you back again. And on that note, thanks all, and we'll catch you next week for another episode. See ya.
Cute.